Today we're going to talk a little bit about behavioral wellness in dogs, as well as why specifically for us as an enrichment center for dogs to protect each dog's behavioral wellness, why it is important that our members are consistent in their attendance. So when we talk about behavioral wellness, we define it as a well-intended, deliberate plan of action that understands the development of the whole dog throughout its whole life. So if you acquired a dog as a puppy or an adult dog, doesn't matter, from here on forwards, given all the experiences your dog might encounter or have, what are the behaviors that we may want to see in the dog that would help enhance that dog's experience with that particular interaction? So think about a behavioral wellness program including a deliberate, well-intended plan that is actionable, and these actionable items are observable, they're measurable, and they are unambiguous. And we are talking about helping this dog understand what behaviors he or she must offer to be successful during different scenarios. So for example, you have a puppy. We would want that dog to understand every skill he may need to know to be able to successfully endure and possibly enjoy his grooming experience. So that might mean going up the ramp, going into the tub, turning on signal left and right, coming down coming out of the tub, down the ramp, jumping onto the table, putting his head through the noose, hanging his head through the noose and holding it still, turning on the table, giving us their paws. And then what we would do once the dog understands the different behaviors he should offer us, obviously we are teaching them with a high rate of reinforcement and reinforcing them for these behaviors so they understand that there's good outcomes for this. But as we advance through their training, we will increase the duration, we might increase the level of distraction, we will increase distance, and basically building this particular skill up to what it feels like when they may have to use it in the real world. So that would look like the entire grooming experience. So back to a well-defined behavioral protocol for grooming, it would deliberately teach this dog, deliberately offer opportunities for this dog to learn all the skills he needs to know before the real experience. Now, as you can imagine, that requires time, devotion, commitment, repetition. We start off teaching the fundamentals, but with time and opportunity, we are able to enhance these fundamental skills to a level that the dog can volunteer for, so voluntarily apply rather than be made to do. This is critical for us as an enrichment center because it means richening this dog's abilities and allowing that dog to participate through this meaningful interaction. Regarding our members, if we do not mandate, or if we were not to mandate consistency, so for example at a doggy daycare, that many times is the case. People may come and choose to go whenever that is convenient to their schedule. Sometimes it might be once a week, sometimes it might be once a month, and sometimes it's every day. For us, because each dog's behavioral wellness is so important to us, we must ensure that these dogs are given the time that they might need, as well as the opportunities that they need or they create for themselves for us to be able to advance them. And if we don't have that consistency, then we will constantly be working at the ground zero level. When we would see the dog come in, we're working on the basics, and then imagine we don't see the dog for 2 visits, which would mean 2 consecutive weeks, and then the dog returns. We'd have to basically start all over again. And the amount of time we are investing into the dog is really not equating to anything that is useful or even fair, whether you're talking about fairness towards us and the effort we're putting in, or fairness to the dog to have to, during his or her visits, apply himself to this degree when there's no longevity in learning. So in summary, for Doglando as an enrichment center, our dogs' attendance and our clients' commitment to bringing them on those scheduled visits is so critical, so that we can ensure that the dogs are successful and that we are able to advance them at the pace that the dog is ready, but also so that learning is fun for the dog and the dog comes to us ready, willing, and able. To learn more about that, check out our blog. Victor recently wrote a great short post on the readiness, willingness, and ability of dogs when they are learning.